All right. Hey, team. My name is Dee Corchin. I am so glad you got on the call tonight. In fact, I just made a comment that we were going to make sure we were finished by 8 to be on Dr. Anderson's call. And I just got a message here that I guess we got an email that there is no coach call tonight with Dr. A. And that will be because this week we have Sundance, which is the leadership conference of the company, which is Dr. Anderson with all global directors and above that will be there. So my guess is he's already out there and preparing for that. So the good news is next week's call will be packed with information. And I'm excited and honored to be a part of that conference heading out there on Wednesday. And so I'll come back to you next week with a lot of good information as well. So I just wanted to pause for a second. It's October 15th already. Can you believe it? Like we're sitting here at the middle of October. And I missed you the last 2 weeks. Had the fortunate to be able to go on vacation, and so blessed. We've got such incredible people and leaders on this team that it's so nice that I can just hand the baton to so many of us on this call. But for these particular two, Meg handled one as well as Julie Apple. So thank you guys for that, because it's just so nice to know that it's so nice and to have a different perspective and to have different people talking. And I try to do that on every call, and we'll do that tonight as well. Our topic is on client acquisition, and I like to do that because I like to let you hear different voices and hear from your peers on what they're doing and what's working for them. Because very often we hear things, we might be on a training call or whatever, and we might think in our heads, well, that's nice, or that's nice for them, or that's not me. But it can bring it to life when you hear what it sounds like from one of our peers. So it's October 15th, and I don't think this question ever goes away regarding how do I acquire more clients. Raise your hand if you would like to help a few more people. Yeah, that's why you're on the call, right? Preaching to the choir. The cool thing is that they are out there. Those people are out there. It is just up to us to be able to connect with them. So I thought we'd just spend some time on that, because there are countless and endless ways to connect with people. Some might resonate with you and feel more comfortable, and some might feel a little uncomfortable. But sometimes if you're doing what you're doing is not working, it might be time to step into the uncomfortable to get a different result. What's that phrase? Like, if you keep doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result, like, it's just not going to happen. So I have a quick little PowerPoint. It just helps keep me on track. And I know some people are also visual learners. So let me just get this going. Okay. So Cassie, I can see you. Just give me a thumbs up if you can see my slide. Okay, awesome. So we're going to be talking today about client acquisition. And the number one thing I really just want to make a point of, because I never want the point to get missed or dismissed, or not that it's not significant, but our number one role as a health coach and what Optavia is about is helping as many people as possible in all areas of life, right? Healthy body, healthy mind, healthy finances. So if we talk about client acquisition, it's not in terms of what does it do to you or to me as a coach. The focus is always on helping them, and then helping others is going to help us achieve what we want. That's true in so many areas of life, our business not excluded. And we talk a lot about client acquisition because the reality is, for the most part, many people, I'd say the majority of people's entry to Optavia is for the physical transformation. Quite frankly, most of them are just looking to feel better, look sexier, or get rid of a diagnosis. And then it's up to us when we bring them in, just really show them what Optavia is, introduce them to the community, and then be able to have that full transformation with the possibility of them possibly also coming on as coaches as well. So tonight we're going to talk primarily about how do we connect with people with the goal of acquiring and helping more clients. And so the one thing I just put on the slide, just as a reminder, is, one of our transformational leadership principles is that we connect authentically. So we're always, connecting from our hearts. with people, looking to better understand them, what they want, and see if Optavia is a fit for them, and also to cultivate trust. And I know you know that, but I just wanted to put that out there in the event that anybody was new to the call or wanted more clarification around it. So our real role as a coach is that we just want to let people know. All we're really looking to do is let people know that we are coaches and what we have available, and use our various communication methods in order to do that. So it's really fairly simple, but sometimes even that can seem a little uncomfortable because we're just not used to talking about ourselves. Maybe we're not used to talking about ourselves as a coach, or it can sometimes feel weird, like talking to somebody about maybe asking if they know somebody that might want our program. And I think if we always keep our mind and our heart on what the mission is of Optavia, is to connect with people that are looking for what we have, the only way we're going to find them is by spreading the word, by letting people know what we're doing. If it's helped you with the physical transformation, letting them know where that came from. And for those that are interested, having the conversations and the health assessments to see if it might be a good fit. So who are we looking for? I mean, this is probably one of the most diverse groups of looking people you could ever imagine, because we don't quite know who's ready for us. We're not necessarily looking for everybody, because we know our program is not for everybody. But the reality is we need to let everybody know in order to find the ones that are looking and ready. And those that aren't ready now might be in the future. So we want to let them know. If you've been coaching for any amount of time, nothing surprises me more, especially with my friends and my family and people. Like, there were, from the get-go, had been people on my heart that I thought, oh my gosh, they're going to be so happy that I have this program. It's going to change their life. And for whatever reason, they don't want it. And then my friend who only needs to lose 6 pounds comes along, and I never would have even had her on my radar, and she's all over it, and it's the best thing ever. So I always like to say we never want to pre-qualify, even think about terms of people of whether or not they need our program or not. Because being a health program, if we're simply talking about physical health, anybody can benefit. Because most people need to improve their health in some area. Most people are not eating every 2 to 3 hours. So even if somebody wanted to, just maintain their weight or even gain weight, we could help them, because we would have our fuelings and could use a 3 and 3 program or something like that for them. So the how and the where to connect with people. We've got a lot of different ways to connect, and social media is a big one. It is a big one. I think most of us on this call are using it to some degree, but I'm not going to spend too much time on that, because I really want to emphasize that it's not our only method. And I've been talking to some coaches lately, and I've even found myself doing it at times, is that we'll put posts out there and whatever on social media, and then we're anxiously returning, just checking who's liked it, did I get a private message yet, whatever, and almost expecting clients to just jump out of the computer at us. And some will, and especially in your early stages of a transformation, that might be your biggest source at the beginning. But over time, that will likely go down. And we have some tools through Optavia. I will post about it. But there's different tools that we can use to work social media in a consistent way, so that we're constantly adding new contacts, that we're constantly having conversations with people, and then we have consistent posting. And that's the only thing I'm going to say about social media right now, because I went back and watched the replay from 2 weeks ago with Meg's call, and Lauren spoke, and they really spoke about sharing authentically. They shared about how to save post, and they shared a lot of tips within social media. The only thing I want to leave with social media is, and this is just because of some recent conversations with coaches, is that we really need to be consistent on it. What I'll see sometimes is that a new coach might put out their before and after picture and get a little flurry of activity, and then do nothing for weeks. And, or just be afraid to put their picture out and kind of put some like generic kind of post out there. And we really need to be clear on social media that, you know, that we're offering these transformations and you're a coach and you're willing to help people. So it's not necessarily lose weight now, ask me how, but it is being consistent out there so that people will, you'll be on people's minds so that when they are ready, that they'll think of you. And you never know from day to day who's on social media, who saw your post, who didn't. So that consistency is what's key. So that's where the method, and I can include a link to some training called the 333 comes in, is it's just a way that every single day we can have a goal of doing a certain amount of posts, connecting with a few new people, and then also having some private message conversations. But that is going to be a separate conversation. The other piece of it now is we need to, because we interact a lot. Hopefully you're not just sitting on the computer or on your phone all day. Hopefully you're out in the world interacting with people, because that's what life is about, right? Is real human interaction. So then it gets into our circle of influence and the different arenas that we are in. And I actually heard it on Julie Apple's call where she talked about a visual where you have a circle and you're in the middle. And then if you think about the different areas of life that you interact, so it could be at your church, it could be at your kid's school, it could be maybe in a book club you're in, maybe a volunteer organization you're in. One good thing to do is to draw it out on a piece of paper, you in the middle, the different areas that you interact with, and then ask yourself, does every single person in that group know what I do? Do they know that I'm a health coach and that I help other people with, you know, weight loss and improving their health? Because most of us, I mean, we could even pick up our cell phone, and if you ran through it A to Z, there's probably people in there that are in your contacts, you know, have some sort of connection to you on a personal level that may not know. So that is one way to, it's actually the way that we started Optavia before social media, was actually calling people and just saying, hey, you know what? I mean, it might sound like, you know, hey, Robin, it's Dee. You know, I just wanted to take a minute of your time. Just wanted to let you know, because I'm not sure that everybody knows that, you know, I've lost a lot of weight recently. I am a health coach now, and I'm actually helping people that are looking to improve their health. And I just want to make sure my friends and family know so that they can be my eyes and ears. That's it. If they ask you, well, what is it? What are you doing? It's just like, then it becomes the same situation as if somebody asked you that on social media, or if they asked you that in a one-to-one conversation. That's a separate conversation with them, hopefully a separate appointment, to see if, you know, go through a health assessment with them. But I want to have Zena speak, because Zena, you are just such a master at incorporating this in every interaction that you have out in the world. So I'm going to shut down my screen share so that you can be visible. And if you could just unmute and share with us a little bit about your interactions. Oh, you want me to unmute you? Okay, you're good to go.
Okay. Okay, great. Thank you, Dee, for this call, and everybody that took the time to be on here, because this is what we get with for our success. But yeah, I love it. First of all, I could like to scream from the rooftop to let everybody know that I'm a coach and that I can help, like Dee said. Before I would look at people that needed to lose weight, but now it's like, now so many 5 pounds, 10 pounds, 12 pounds. I mean, these are people that are now reaching out to me and that I'm in contact with, not the big loss, and just to get healthy, just to take that little belt in. So yeah, you know, I have I get so excited because I'm not afraid. You know, I hear a lot of people, you know, their fear of going up to someone or talking to someone. I don't have that fear. And so that's a great thing. But I take a look at everyone. I was sitting in a restaurant waiting to go in, and 2 women walk in, a mother and daughter, way overweight. And I thought, how can I talk to them? Well, the daughter had really pretty hair. I said, oh, I really like your hair color. I used to be a hairdresser. I am a hairdresser all my life. But this is what I do now. And I showed him my card and my before and after pictures and the pictures of but that started my talk. And I think about that. I walked into the oil and vinegar store in Boone, and the woman, very obese, and I said, I love your oil and vinegar. I take it to all my restaurants. I just got rid of 60 pounds using your oil and vinegar. And I just started a health assessment right on her counter by memory. And she's starting, and her husband and her daughter and her cousin. But had I not said anything, that never would have happened. And I feel like I can't keep it to myself. I have a very long time friend that I hadn't talked to for 10 years, and she was in my heart. I mean, I start my day that way. Who's on my heart today? And I thought of her, and I called her, and she was doing Weight Watchers. And I said, I'm so happy that you are at least doing something to take care of yourself and your health. If that doesn't work, give me a call. A month later, she called me. She's not only a client with 60 pounds down, she became a coach. But had I not reached out to her, that would have not happened. And I went to the car dealership, and I see a sign they're having a weight loss contest. I went to every desk in that weight loss contest to give my card and let them know I can help them win the contest. So I go to the checkout counter at the grocery store, and I take a look at someone's groceries, and I said, boy, you really eat healthy. And I start my conversation. I said, look at it, I'm a health coach. And I got rid of 60 pounds myself, and look at and I keep pictures of so many transformations, but right at the counter, and then everybody down the line is talking to me. And then at the gym, I see somebody working out. I said, oh my God, you really are great. What a workout. I mean, how long have you been doing this? I just start the conversation. I just go in and start it. And it creates the conversation. But I could walk into that gym and not say a word. I can go to that grocery store and not say a word. I can go into the dealership and not say a word. But why hold that back? And, so people walking down my street here that are walking or running, I stop them with their earphones and everything. It's like, wow, you're really taking care of yourself. Are you losing weight? Or are you just doing this to get healthy? And I show them my card and show them my pictures. So that's what I do. I am not afraid. People love it. People want to start the conversation. People are desperate. There's a lot of people out there desperate and stuck and are trapped in these bodies that they don't know a way out. And I know a way out for them. It is the biggest gift that God has given me, to be able to transform and help somebody out of that situation. So I'm going to use that gift. And I'm just, and that's how it started. And this gift that I have been given, I've had a good life before, and now helping people, what a feeling of that. I have a fulfilling feeling in my heart that so many people's lives are being transformed. I mean, I get what I get from people every day, my heart gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And then it's like, who can I give this to more? I just want to give it. So, for all the little young kids out there that I talk to, a lot of the little young coaches, don't be afraid. Get out there, talk to people. I moved to Mexico, not know the business my way around, but I just go do it. Just go for it. And now being the coach and giving that opportunity to others to be a coach. I mean, my life was always good. Now it's great, so now I'm now a coach, and now can take my wife on 2 cruises from my Optavia money. How cool is that? So You know,
All because you help somebody else get healthy,
all
right?
because of that one person, just
Yeah.
that one person. And so I'm not going to stop. I'm going to keep telling everybody.
Thank
I'm
you.
going to find the rooftop.
I love it. I love it. It's just like, you know, it's like you're lighting a fire, just waiting for everybody to come see, you know. And what I heard, a couple of things that I would listen to as a coach is, as anyone on this call, is that number one, one of the stories she gave was she listened to her intuition. Somebody was on her
You
heart
froze
and she reached out to them.
up. What? You froze.
Yeah, let me mute her. So part of it was she listened to her intuition and called somebody. The other was that she's got a gift to share. So rather than, what she did is she took her eyes off herself, and rather than focusing on herself or what somebody might think or what if they rejected her, she just kept passing out a gift to people. And I think, I mean, I learned from Zena. You know, Zena gives me confidence to do the same, because she's got so much evidence that, you know what, I bet not everybody signs up for the program right away with Zena, but she's spreading the word to find the ones that will. So thank you, Zena, because you inspire all of us, seriously. So another way, you know, really what we're doing is we're looking out, and I'm going to start to talk about some other groups and things that we can do. And when we talk about maybe visiting other things we can do to increase our sphere of influence. So now we're on social media. We've worked it into our everyday conversations. We're making sure that everybody in our spheres of influence, our church, our school, et cetera, know that we're health coaches. But sometimes, I mean, I've been coaching 7 years. I want to get out and meet more people. I mean, I was pretty much an introvert before I started this, so my spheres were pretty darn small. So Beth Bilton, you have really, really grown in the past year or so, really getting out and starting to meet some new people through networking groups and setting up tables at different events. So can you share a little bit with us what that looks like?
Sure, I'll be glad to. Just a couple other things first. What I did when I first became a coach is I wrote a letter that explained my story, and I had my before and after picture in it, and I mailed it to all my friends and family just to let them know I was a health coach, because I'm not as like Zena. I let them, you know, passively know what I was doing. And I also made up a postcard later on, and I mailed this to, you know, family and friends, you know, just to let them know. I was thinking about doing one for the holidays, you know, New Year's coming up, that sort of thing. So that's two things that I did. So with my networking groups, I actually go to about 3 different networking groups. And to tell you the truth, I was petrified the first time I went, but it gets easier. And this, you know, people come, and now one of my groups, we're just really good friends. We actually went and did a tour of downtown Atlanta together. We had like 25 of us that went and did the Beltline tour around Atlanta, which was great fun. So got to meet, you know, other people's spouses. So that was great. So one thing that I do, just to let you know about networking, I found all mine on Meetup. So I don't know if y'all have a Meetup where you live, but it's just meetup.com, and you sign up for it, and you can type in your interest, things like that. And then you can find different meetings to go to. And if you're scared, I would suggest, what I did was I went with a friend. She's a realtor. So we went to the first meetup together. And so when you go, you need to have like your 60-second elevator speech. So most of them, you'll stand up and tell what you do. You're a health coach. Get with your coach or D to give you, help you with formulate your 60-second elevator speech. And then after you've been going for a while, they'll let you do like a 10-minute presentation. So I've just put together some PowerPoint presentations. So if anybody goes and needs one, I'll be happy to send you what I've got. Just, change out my picture for your picture. But I've got one that I did on the full trilogy. And what I do for that one, it's my very first one for the group, I do the well-being evaluation. I make copies of it front and back, and I pass that out, and I let people know the full trilogy, and I go over each one of those while I'm doing it, and then I go more into detail about the healthy body one, because that's what most people are interested in. But I do touch on the healthy mind and finances. And then I also, I've done one on healthy sleep, the benefits of water. I did one on healthy, children, school age kids, getting them healthy dinners and healthy snacks and things like that. So I've got those. If anybody is interested, let me know. Be glad to do that. And I also at one of my networking groups, we have after hours socials once a quarter. So I've set up a table. The coach on another team here in Marietta's got great visual. So she's got the big banner. So she lets me borrow that and the tablecloths, and she's got pictures. And I take, before and afters, and I take some Optavia guides and the 5-in-1 brochures, hand out to people and things like that. So it's a great way when you have a lot of people there to, just hit the highlights. I usually have a giveaway. I'll give away Dr. A's Habit of Health book. So I do a drawing, and I get people to write down their name, address, email address, and phone number. So I get, people's names, and then we do a drawing at the end for the book, and then I say, oh, you got the book, and I usually do like a $10 Starbucks gift card, and then they also get a free health assessment with me. So I meet with them, give them the book, give them the gift card, and do a health assessment on them. And so that's worked out really well too. So I've gotten about 5 or 6 clients actually from my different networking meetings. So it's gone pretty well.
Yeah, that is awesome. And I'm telling you, this was huge, you guys. I mean, I've been working with Beth for a couple of years. I mean, I would mention networking, it'd be like crickets, because she wanted to meet new people. And, we talk about ideas and like just silence. But she decided and this, we didn't spend too much time on this, but she decided what she wanted was bigger than the fear of doing something different. Her desire to help people to grow a business was bigger than her fear. So she started stepping into it. And, now she's like, hey, I've got all these presentations, pass them out. I mean, she was so nervous for her first. But
yes,
these are business networking. So when you go on Meetup, you can look for business networking events. You can look at your Chamber of Commerce. You can look at local business associations. But these are business owners just like you that are looking to grow their businesses. So you just collaborate and you get to know each other. So I'm a huge proponent of networking. I've been a part of it for a long time. So I've got certain people that I've always got my ears open. If somebody needs insurance, well, I'm going to refer them to Rick, my State Farm guy, who's in my networking group that I know and trust. And so what you're trying to do is build relationships that maybe those actual people in the networking group might not become a client, but if they hear somebody that's looking to lose weight, that they know, oh, Beth is this health girl in my networking group, you might want to talk to her. And then Beth does a good job getting names. I'm sure she's connected with all these people on social media, so then they see her stuff on social media. So great way to connect. And to take that a step further, Lisa Edwards, you use meetups, not just only for business networking, but for also special interest groups of just everyday life that you can meet more people. Can you speak to that?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. So I did the Facebook thing and still do, connected with people that I used to work with in many jobs and high school and college. But when I moved to a different state back in February, one of the main things that I wanted to do was just connect and make more friends locally in my new area. So I did Meetup as well. So I've diversified my meetups. I've got a couple business networking groups and a couple social network groups where, we have groups that we go to the movies and we go out and listen to music, go to restaurants and things like that. So I'm around every time I go, I meet different people. It's the same group, but it's different people. And also a member of a spiritual group as well. So similar to church groups. So meetups have been a big thing for me. Another thing that I've done is actually look for Facebook events that are set up locally, and a lot of them are free. And I specifically look for health and wellness and fitness events to attend locally. I get to meet people, but when I go, I'm around like-minded people. So that's been successful. I've also created my own Facebook event, which I did get my first one yesterday, which I felt was really successful. So I'm going to try to do that once a month. I like being up in front of people sharing and talking. So I would say, especially for you guys that are afraid to do it, the more you do it, the more you practice it, the easier it gets. So just get out and do it. One of the other things that has been helpful for me that I'd like to share is an organization called Walk with a Doc. It's a national nonprofit that was created several decades ago, but they're local chapters where a doctor volunteers to get together once a month, and they lead a walking group in the community, and they share health tips and things like that, and then they walk. So I would recommend that you guys Google that. It's Walk with the Doc, and you can even search on their website for local chapters. And the reason that I say that is I did that when I lived in Atlanta, and that connected me up with a local doctor where I was doing some health coaching for her. And when I moved here to Greensboro in North Carolina, I looked for a chapter here, and that has gotten me a connection to where she got me in to do a presentation to her physician practice last week, and I've since gotten 3 referrals. So if you're interested in taking your business in that direction with physician referrals, that's a good way to get connected with your local physician community.
That's a really good point. That's one thing we did not talk about tonight on the agenda is actual like referral relationships with people. But making connections, if you have people in your world that are a physician, a chiropractor, a personal trainer, physical therapist, people that interact with people that might need what we have to offer, those are good people to have conversations with and let them know what you do, and then would maybe possibly could set up a referral relationship. And your coach or myself, I'm happy to help you with any of those conversations as well. So good point, Lisa. And I've done that as well myself over the years, just gotten involved in different organizations, women's groups, Bible studies, book clubs. Again, not so much that these people would become clients themselves, but I can just start to build these relationships because I'm not looking to just get to know them. I'm looking to get to know like the 300 people in their world, that they interact with, etc. So thank you. And then we're going to wrap it up with, we could probably spend seriously a month on this topic every week. So we'll probably come back to it. But on the agenda tonight is one more thing. And I'm going to introduce Debbie Pasco, an executive director on our team. Debbie really does everything that we've talked about. And Debbie has grown tremendously over the years in her comfort level of interacting with people. And one other thing that we can do is actually what Lisa just alluded to is actually host our own event. So this is an arena that Debbie is stepping into. And so Debbie, can you speak to that a little bit and what you're excited about?
Absolutely. Okay, so what's fun is I had already planned on one, and then Dee and I were talking today, and she told me about an event that's coming up. So everybody needs to take advantage of this thing. I have recognized and experienced with people that a lot of people, when they meet you, unless you're Zena, a lot of people meet you and they need to you're like the cold pool, and they want to put the toe in the water and kind of watch, or they're not ready to jump right away. Most people, they just want to see what it looks like and see other people having fun and kind of decide they're going to do it, but it takes a little bit and then they jump in. So kind of my analogy with constantly dripping is that it's a lot harder for people if they see a body of water and they put their toe in it. It's really cool, but there's nobody else having fun. There's nothing else going on. There's no one saying, jump in. There's nothing going on. Why would they make that decision to jump? So it's when you're constantly showing them why it's worth it and talking to them about it, reminding them about it, that's when people go, yeah, I'm ready. And they finally jump. So all of talking to your chamber and talking to people and all of that you should be doing, because it's so much fun to keep your funnel full. That's the thing that I was hesitant on, was filling my funnel. I was like, well, I can't juggle 50 people, so I don't want to take on that much. And I realized what happens is that you meet 5 people and you maybe bring on 3 clients and then 2 drop off, and then you've got this one person and you're a little bit sad. So it's a good idea to fill your funnel even fuller than you think you can handle, because you're not ever gonna be so overwhelmed you can't handle it. So that's something. So doing this event that's coming up, I don't even know that I wrote that. It's a Health and Hope, and Dr. A is going to do a talk. So there's going to be 2 times that he's going to talk, so you can sign up for it. He's going to do a 7 o'clock and a 9 p.m. So if you decide to host an event, you can have something where he's live streaming. It's going to be super awesome. I recommend bring people in, have door prizes, have raffles, get conversations going. It's so much fun, and you get to kind of portray yourself as someone who really knows her stuff or his stuff, and you are there to help, and you can show your heart. I will say I've been to 2 different events this weekend. I went to a Pampered Chef on Friday, and then I went to a doTERRA thing on Saturday. And both of those events, you go in, there's nice people, there's food, there's talking and relaxing, and then the presentation. And the presentation is all about how great the stuff is for half of it. And then the other half is talking to people why they want to join the company. And so there was an ick factor. Like I was like, oh, you trying to get me, and that's the thing that I don't see about Optavia. I see this as all authentic, all altruistic. We're just wanting to help people and help them to get to their goal. So you're not getting to my goal. You're getting to your goal, and I want to help you get there. I love it so much. I love what we do. So I highly recommend hosting an event, and definitely this one that's coming up, this Health and Hope thing. It's done for you. I mean, it's just so easy because there's going to be a layout. There's going to be Dr. A coming on. We've got invitations. If you go to Optavia Connect on Share, there's going to be social media banners. There's going to be, I think they said flyers, so I imagine it's going to be paper flyers that we can actually print and use. So I'm very, very excited about that. And forever, like, if you keep them interesting and you keep them upbeat and you keep people, keep in touch with everyone that you meet, you want to have a sign-up sheet and talk to people, thank people for coming, and that's another thing I will talk on later. But thank them for coming, but don't thank them for giving you their time because you did them the favors. But anyway, this is going to be so awesome, and so I highly recommend it, and I think every single one of us needs to do it.
Thank you, Debbie. Great description. So what this is basically an event that you would host. Invite your family, friends, neighbors, everybody. Invite them either to your home, your clubhouse, your office, like some small facility. I used to do these quite a bit when I was building my business. I used to have a small event at my house monthly. One time I had 1 person, another time I had 19 people. Like, you never know, I had everything in between. But what's fun is that you're going to start to build this healthy community around you if this is in your wheelhouse. But I encourage you to maybe try it, test the waters, as Debbie said, stick your big toe in to see what this could do for you. I know Dominique has done a couple things recently that were great. So this idea, this Health and Hope thing, I was going to give you a little backstory on it. So we have a presidential director named Nancy Strauss, and you've probably seen her on the leadership calls. She's super fun, nice person, hairdresser, who is now a presidential director in Optavia. And she decided that like every 60 to 90 days, she was going to have an event at her house and just start having people over. And she called them Health and Hope parties. And she has her clients come and they share their weight loss, and they do like potluck lean and green and all sorts of stuff. And to the point she now gets like 60 people come to these parties at her house. And she is under Dr. Anderson. Like, Dr. Anderson is her business coach. So she told him one time she was doing it, and he said, well, I'll come on if you want. Like, we could do a Zoom and I could come on and speak to your people. Well, then they decided, well, why would we just limit this to Nancy Strauss? Like, he's doing it for all of us, you guys. Like, he will come into your living room and speak. And so he's going to do the heavy lifting, and if you've never heard Dr. Anderson speak, he's incredible. So just an idea. But, I think the one thing we have to look at as ourselves is if our business is not growing at the pace that we want, and we have to acquire, we want to acquire new clients, it just means we need to acquire some new methods, some new things that we're doing. So I'm hopeful that this inspired you. We are happy to answer additional questions. I'm going to ask Beth to share some of those copies of examples of things that she had, if she'll share them in our group. And any questions? I want to wrap up. We ran over time, but any burning questions at this point? Go ahead and unmute, Katie. Or I got you. I got you. Hold on. Go.
When is the Health and Hope event?
It is on October 25th. So it's a week from this Thursday. So I posted, so go to our Facebook group, Coaches Up for Change, and I put a post in there with an image, and then there's a link to a Google Doc that really is providing all the details, including how do you invite people, if you want to have 5 people there, how many people do you need to invite in order to get 5 people there. So all of that is there for us. But this is really cool timing. You might be thinking like, ooh, oh my gosh, that's next week. But I have actually found that the shorter notice we give to people, like, hey, I'm doing this thing. It's next Thursday night. Can you come? Like, that gets better turnout usually than things that we plan and announce a month in advance. All right. Well, thank you guys. I hope this was helpful. I'm going to post the recording. Please share takeaways, things that are inspired, something new that you try. Let's collaborate. Let's get a little more interaction going on our Facebook page as well on a regular basis, and really use that as a tool for inspiring each other. So thank you guys for investing your time tonight. Thank you for helping so many people, and we'll see you next week.